Hey everybody, welcome back to our Soul Calibur VI coverage. And at last, our journey has come to an end. We have gone through we started here in Soul Chronicles, went through the main story, went through everyone's individual story. And then we went to the Libra of Soul, and that was a thing. Let's say it's like that. And from there, as you can see, we have unlocked these last chapters for Raphael and Zasalamel. Interesting enough, just to clarify a couple things for people, because there's still not a lot of clear-cut information on this, so let me make an attempt to try to clarify this for people. You do not have to go down the evil path, the dark path, or whatever, to open up Raphael's story. You know, that may make it easier, and that I couldn't tell you if it does or not, because I stayed almost completely strictly to the light path, the good path, whatever you want to call it, in Libra's Soul. And I still, actually, this, if you check Chapter 5 of our Libra's Soul coverage, I didn't unlock this while I was doing the main story, but actually I got it like right after. And there's not much to it. The chain, I believe, starts with a quest with two young girls, and through that encounter you meet Raphael. To be honest with you, I didn't read a heck of a lot of it. Kind of storied out by that point. At which point he asks you if you'll help him or not, and I said yes, I would. And that actually is a bad decision. You know, you got the blue flame or the red flame. That's a red flame decision. And that was pretty much all there was to it, and I think that's what led to this. And we're going to start with Raphael here. Zasalamel, on the other hand, was a whole different story. I think this quest chain actually started much earlier on, and at some point after I'd finished the main campaign was in the epilogue. I had a couple more encounters with Zasalamel, which led to a expedition quest, or a quest that right where you start, right at the beginning of Chapter 1, in the very first position that you start at, which was an absolutely ridiculous OP fight. Similar to Aswell in Chapter 4 and others, but this one was particularly nasty. This might have been the worst. Again, very disappointed that Bandai Namco decided to make the decision to go that kind of route with difficulty. There's other and better ways to do things than just, you know, supercharging the AI and giving them button reading. It was very annoying, but I did obviously get through it. So, as you can see, I have not done these yet. With most of the things that we were doing, we wanted to do them on, you know, while being recorded for the first time. But I think I'm going to start a chapter before, because it's been a while since I've done these now. I don't even quite remember how these went. So we're going to start at the chapter before and do them. All right, so let's do this.
Thank you. How are the lessons going?
Very good, young master. The girl will grow into a fine lady. On his return, my lord will be struck dumb in disbelief. Still...
Raphael, I think I'm more suited to sword practice. Can't you teach me, like you used to?
Amy, you're smart enough to understand. If you want to carve a future for yourself, you need an education and manners.
I know, but you meanie.
As you can see, there is still some way to go.
Amy. Can I really offer Amy a bright future like this? I came to this reading room looking for answers, but I'm coming up empty-handed. Ample finances, a safe place, a fine education. Despite the freedom this lifestyle offers, it's not enough. This letter. Report on the evil seed. Could it be? There's no mistaking it. This is research on that abominable evil seed. Manifestation? Madness? The evolution of humanity? Interesting. It all sounds so fantastical. This was written by Scholar of the Future. Who could that be? Soul Edge. A cursed sword that feeds on souls?
Raphael?
I see. An exchange is made for power. Maybe this sword is the key.
What is it, Raphael?
Oh, Amy. Why the long face?
I was waiting for you to come back. I thought maybe you were mad about earlier. I've been scared recently. I never knew what it felt like to have something to lose till I met you.
You have nothing to fear. I shall make you the perfect world.
Raphael? Are you in here?
Of course. Here's a thought. How about some hot chocolate for a change?
The names of the warriors whose fates were bound to the two swords have been etched into the very fibers of history.
Okay, so I remember that. That didn't seem very odd. But it was shortly after that I noticed that there was another chapter. And it actually didn't lead into it. So, alright. Here we go.
I knew it. It's well hidden, but all the documents point to the same thing. The cursed sword Soul Edge gives power in exchange for the wielder's sanity. With this sword, I can put a stop to the petty wars between the nobles and create a new perfect world for Amy. Another late night. I wonder whether Amy's already asleep.
The day has long come to an end as Raphael leaves the reading room in the outbuilding and heads for the main house. Every step he took as he hurried toward his dear Amy, his legs became heavier. The familiar walk felt longer than usual, as though it was leading to somewhere different.
I've been waiting for you, Raphael Zasalamel.
Who are you?
Oh dear, kindly don't point that thing at me. I'm simply here to ask you what you're planning. For the sake of humanity's future, I hasten to add.
Humanity's future? You must be.
It was the so-called Scholar of the Future standing before him. Raphael explained his plan, pausing to ask questions about the cursed sword from time to time. But he was aware that at any moment, a fight to the death might erupt.
Oh my, so you intend to give Soul Edge to the nobles?
Their war will escalate as they try to steal it from each other, at least for a time. Ultimately, however, even the last one standing will perish on account of the sword, thereby ending the chaos.
So you wish to turn the Earth into some sort of purgatory? You would sacrifice the innocent masses so?
They live as if they were already dead, but they will become the foundation of a new world, giving their existence meaning.
I see, I see. You are fascinating. While our methods differ, I consider you a comrade on account of your lofty ideals. Now, before I go, comrade, I shall test you to see whether you have what it takes to claim the cursed sword.
Feast your eyes on my rapier, the creator of a new world.
Oh, am I gonna have to fight as Raphael? I have barely ever used the guy. Uh-oh.
It's time for you to perish! On guard! On guard!
Aw. Certainly not doing a lot of damage. Oh, okay, I guess I'm not supposed to.
Bravo, comrade! Your wisdom will no doubt ensure you reach the Soul Edge before any other.
There are others? Then I must hurry.
Should you be wounded by the cursed sword, use this medicine. It will neutralize the poison, hopefully before you completely transform into a monster. Bon voyage.
Before Raphael knew it, the strange man was gone, and he was following the spiral staircase up to Amy's room. Though the medicine vial was new to him, it felt as though he had carried it all his life.
Amy, are you asleep? I'm going on a journey. A journey to make you the perfect world.
Raphael, don't go.
Sorry to wake you. I'll stay by your side until you fall back to sleep. Good night, my dear, precious Amy.
So began the grand yet perverse plan, devised by one for the sake of another. When a twisted soul seeks the cursed sword, the cogs of history once again begin to turn. The names of the warriors whose fates were bound to the two swords have been etched into the very fibers of history.
Yeah, he's a jackass. So I've never been a big fan of Raphael's. Alright, so there's his. Let's move to Zasalamel. Now, I don't remember exactly what the last chapter was, chapter 7, but I mean, this one was odd to the point where you didn't do a single bit of fighting. It was all basically lore and story stuff, which was interesting. But then it just ended. You didn't even get a finale or whatever, like the end of the rest of the chapters, or even the fake one for Raphael. So let's take a look at the one just before the new one and see where it leads.
That was 1,000 years ago. My desire for death was at its peak. That longing for true death led me to even take hold of Soul Age. Wisdom, power, battle lust. In those days, I felt I could do anything. But when it was over, I was forced to confront just how prideful I had been. As a puppet of the cursed sword, I kept fighting to my last breath. And for what? I fought in an age of endless war that spanned the world, all to establish a certain dynasty. That is all I'll say on the matter. I've lived as every type of person. Old, young, man, woman. but I've never felt as much joy as when I wielded that power. However, not even the cursed sword could free me from the chains of samsara. And so I died, and was born again into this world.
Alright, let's take a look at the new one.
This tome has become much longer than I imagined it would be. I may have gotten carried away and written a bit too much, but I hope you understand I didn't have time for editing. Not that it matters, as I plan to burn this book to ashes. It may seem strange for me to care about time, as death holds no sway over me. But time waits not, even for the eternal. The cursed and spirit swords are together, and their power grows. Now is the perfect chance for those who seek power. It is time for me to take action. I once wished for death, but now I wish for something else. Now, I wish to cultivate the potential that people possess and lead them to a glorious new future. I seek not meaning or understanding in this. I am not even certain from which of my memories this thought sprang. I feel as if it has always been inside of me, like a memory from a past life. I've thought of one other possibility. Perhaps this memory is from the future, sent back to me by my future self. Or maybe I simply have too active an imagination. Whatever the case, everything will begin once I acquire the power I need. The cursed sword and the spirit sword. I need them both to proceed with my plan. It has already been set into motion. The time has come. Now I shall harvest the fruit of my labors.
The names of the warriors whose fates were bound to the two swords have been etched into the very fibers of history.
Yeah, so he's a loon too. Alright. These things are obviously relating to most likely the next Soul Calibur. To which there probably will be one. The game sold well. If you pay attention to these things, one of the people from Bandai Namco said that how well Soul Calibur VI sold would determine if they made another one, which is actually kind of an obvious statement for any game and any IP. But it did well. I think it was 5 in the top 10 the month it came out, against a lot of competition. So we're probably going to get another one. And we'll probably see what the hell these two guys are talking about. Interesting stuff. If you didn't notice as well, just wanted to point this out. I meant to do it before we started, but going through the Libra Soul opened up all these little extra chapters and notes in people's stories. Interesting stuff that kind of just footnotes from things that you did in Libra with these characters. But yeah, that's it. That's all we got. There's no more story. We did all the story. So we did all the Soul Chronicles. We've now finished them up. We did Libra. So that's going to do it for most of our coverage. We'll be doing versus sessions for a while yet. That's something that Ian and I have really looking forward to digging into. We're still looking like a couple noobs right now, especially myself. He gets a lot more time to practice than I do. But yeah, you know, it's fun. We're gonna have a comprehensive review of this game out probably sometime right around the new year. Guys, you know, I hope this is helpful for those of you who don't want to go through all the hoops to unlock these chapters in Libra. I hope that was helpful to you. You can find all the Soul Chronicle chapters for all the other characters and everything in this channel. Arcade runs showing basics for the characters, the main story through Libra of Soul. It's all right here. You can check that out. We're going to be doing a lot more Let's Plays and playthroughs coming up in the future. I guess for me, a little bit of a hint as to what I'll be doing next is I'll be doing something very evil. And that's a pretty obvious hint too, but that's going to be the next game lined up for me. But yeah, alright. So, if you got any comments, please leave them below. If you like what we brought you, if you can give us a like and subscribe, that would be great. We could definitely use the support. But that is going to do it. So, until next time, take care.